Yeah!
What is this?
Well, what are you, gold 3?
I'm gold 3,
4?
div 4.
Oh, there you go.
I'm like a rank up below platinum. Do we do Chell now?
If you want.
We played a lot of games, so yeah, we could. I think we need to change the pace a little bit.
Fine. We'll just switch to the Elgato. Yes, I have the source set as Elgato, so we know what's the right one now. We're getting the hang of this, cousin.
Saucy, sexy, smooth, smexual.
I hope there's no lame excuse again. Oh, my Wi-Fi went out. My toilet ran out. The shower head wasn't working.
Who's saying this?
I'm just thinking the lamest excuses imaginable.
For what scenario?
For not showing up.
For what? Not work?
You're loving.
Okay. That's not very nice. Just...
Oh, there's one more. Lame ass excuse. Oh yeah, I gotta change the title. Never mind.
Chell and chill?
I just changed tags.
Okay.
To attract viewers that aren't supposed to watch this. But it gives us views. NHL 20. Strength training.
Discuss the new
Social eating.
NHL and what we come to expect.
We expect it to be exactly the same.
Or know like what we want, more or less.
To not ruin it. Is that so hard, NHL? EA? Not ruin the game for once. They have their periods. Good games. Hey, Peter.
What's
happening?
Alright. The Carolina Hurricanes, after coming off a disappointing second round exit.
There. That's else. What else?
What the fuck is this chair? So weird. I'll just give you this chair. This feels weird.
Yeah, take the other one. You're used to it. Which Carolina?
Yeah, I'm used to the other chair. This feels weird. Oh, it is comfy, but I'm just also like, it's very weird.
Alright, let's move. It's over.
So we're in year 6 of 15, and the Carolina Hurricanes are coming to bring in my chair. Monitor is down.
Rocket League down. Samantha down. Ouch.
Oh, right, you have to turn it on, right?
Okay.
That would help.
You turn it on?
Yeah.
The X one?
Oh, yeah, you need to plug the...
Here. Have you tried turning it off?
Also, the... Even... Honestly, the camera screen's still a little small. There we go, that's better. That was about where it was before.
Leave it. What's it say? No.
Because my Xbox is just turning on. Oh, I think we got it. Here we go.
Don't need to spin that bit. Okay.
Okay.
Still yelling at the game in there.
Him and his 80 saves on, like, Corpus Salo.
That's bullshit. Alright, move this in. Move that. Well. Ouch.
9-8.
What?
The baseball game
Is that final or still going?
so far. Or no, final.
Jesus. Blew that one.
Doubleheader.
Wait.
Why have none of the games started yet? Why are they all at 5 and 7:30? Why are they so late?
Willio Santos.
So,
Man, see you Boston.
welcome to today's edition of Chell and Chill.
Today's edition of Take 5. Today's edition of Take 5, we're going to talk about the consolidated statements.
Of the cash flows. Blue Jays win the back-to-back.
Lame. They're supposed to be tanking. What place are they now?
Third in the division.
They're right where I expected them.
They officially, their now record is 12-11.
That's respectable.
Slightly above 500.
I expected them to be around there. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say. Maybe a little. Maybe 1 or 2 games more at best.
So this has 2 legs now.
Okay.
17.
And
EA
the
Sports.
Houston
It's in the
Astros
game.
avoid a comeback.
Why does this have 80 views already? I put no tags, no effort into these videos, yet they do way better than the actual content I create. Makes me feel great.
Shit posting, man. It's a thing.
Okay.
Oh, that's another clip I need to get. Maybe you should try getting a job.
That's a thing that exists.
We create our own.
Gallagher's out for the rest of the series. That's not good. Okay. Off season's behind us. As we get ready to start year
You
number.
should try getting a job.
What year are we in, actually?
5?
We're in year number 6.
No. Yeah, go in.
4 years of contention with the Carolina Hurricanes thus far.
50 wins there.
50 wins in our last 4 seasons, which actually is better than usual. But the thing is needs to be way better if we expect us to win the Stanley Cup. Now, we're going to keep that down there.
Sure.
That actually works a little bit. So, we're going to take a look at the lineups again because I didn't forget completely, but I just want to look at them again. Right, solving this 4th line issue. What did we put Lindholm there? No, it doesn't fix anything. What did we put? Okay, putting Nikash on the 4th line. He unfortunately just hasn't. He hasn't panned out. Trocheck.
I say we trade him.
Nichushkin?
He,
Or Nikash?
yeah. How much is he getting paid?
He's 1 year left on his deal of 5.75, but we extended him for like much cheaper.
Okay, he can be like a bottom 6 then.
Yeah. He was supposed to be a number 2 center, maybe even a number 1 center, but that's kind of what Trocheck stepped into. We had the cap to save him around, so.
Have we re-signed everyone already?
Yep.
Okay.
You were memeing in the background when I was signing everyone.
Okay. Well, you did it, I guess.
So the lineup. Oh yeah, we didn't show the defense.
Since we're actually doing the season, we can do it now instead of missing the off season again.
So Jake Bean, Brady Shea on the top line, Dougie Hamilton and Brett Pesce on the 2nd pair, and Hayden Fleury and Jacob Slavin on the 3rd pair. Pretty much gives us a 2nd pair and 2 first pairs. So if we're going to win championships, it's going to come from defense. But again, I'm going to say, once again, we're going to say first. I'm going to say 2nd in div, just in terms of how tough it's been. And I'm also going to say 3rd round, no excuses. You?
3rd div, 3rd round.
3rd in div, 3rd round.
Again, not big on the season placing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly. I just kind of I'm like, well, we should place first. Our team's good enough. The only issue I have a little bit is the starting goalie problem, but his role is starting goalie, so.
We got our President's Trophy already, so.
We have one.
So we don't care anymore about that.
Standings. It's about the Stanley Cup. That's the key.
Stanley Cup.
Now, it's going to be a question on whether defense is going to bail out Tynan or if Tynan can step up to the plate and be the starting goalie. This is going to be a telltale sign of that.
What's his overall right now?
He's 83, but his role is starting goalie. Like, it's not that he's not supposed to be a starter. It's just, how will he do as his first full season as starter? Now, the problem is his backup stats haven't been too ideal, But to be fair, he's also put in a backup role.
How old is he?
Like in his early 20s, like 21, 22.
Okay, then he has a few years.
He's definitely got some value, and we extended him, I'm pretty sure, for 3 seasons at $1.9 million after this year.
Give him a shot.
If he sucks for a couple seasons, we'll just pursue a new starter. But like, let's look at his stats before we begin. 12-9 last year, which is okay. These stats aren't ideal, but he had a winning record. And then 9-7, but a little better. So in his very brief time as backup, he's been serviceable. He's been winning. Not exactly the best save percentage and goals against average, but he has a winning record so far. So I can trust that he might be able to do good enough, especially with the defense. We have 2 first pairing defensemen, or 2 first pairs and a second pair. That's what our defense looks like. And we still have, I'd argue, two first lines. So this team's still solid. Anyway, let's get the first month going. Enough meandering.
Oh my god. 7 people have viewed his application.
All right, so we currently have 2-1 so far. Taylor Tynan off to a decent start, I suppose. 3 wins for the new netminder. Up here with the Kings, we lose the first of the back-to-back. Pick up 2 of 4, though. 7-6 loss to the Oilers, so that's not good. Boston Bruins, big 6-1 win there. New Jersey Devils and the Flyers up back-to-back here. We get 2 of 4 again. And we end the month with a 6-5 win to end the month 7-4. Pretty solid start, I'd say.
Solid first month.
It's a winning record, and we're first in the division, albeit it's first month, so it really doesn't matter. It only starts to matter really when the 3rd and 4th month comes, and you can kind of see where your team is in the scope of things. Because listen, teams that might not make the playoffs sometimes find themselves at the top of the division after the first month. It just can happen like that. So I wouldn't exactly jump to judgment after 1 month. It's when it gets out after 2 months, after 3 months, then you start thinking about things like that. But it's looking like Tynan's fitting in pretty well in his starting role. 9-5, unless the backups played a couple times, but who knows. Nedeljkovic could be a serviceable backup as well, and by the looks of it, he is, because we're 11-5, so clearly the backup goalie's doing his job. Enough, anyway. So it's currently 12-5-1, upcoming here against the Blackhawks. 8-5 loss. Blue Jackets, 4-0 win. 2-1 win to the Capitals, and a 2-1 overtime loss to the Flyers, so we get 3 of 4 there. 2-1, they're trying to trade PK Subban. I'm not saying I want him, but I'm curious as to what his overall is.
PK.
79 overall, are you?
Regalman.
No. 2-1 win against the Rangers and the Ottawa Senators. We end the month off with a 4-3 win to go 16-6-2 after our second month there. So, way better. Our defenseman is leading in points.
Who?
Jake Bean. Like, that's good for him because he's an offensive defenseman, but that's...
Ooh.
Okay, it's not really the offense's fault. It's just there's not a point per game, but everyone's scoring at a 60 or 70 point pace, which is good.
Can't
but
believe Trocheck's doing that well.
in this,
Yeah. 88, like what the fuck happened?
because he played a lot of extra time and he also scored a lot of points, that usually comes into effect. Tucker Tynan, 13-5-2 with an 886 save percentage and a 317 goals against average. Neither of these are ideal, but he is winning enough. Nedeljkovic, 3-2-0 with 1 shutout, 932 save percentage, 168 goals against average. Amongst leaders in the division, in the Eastern Conference, Tynan is 5th place, tied for 5th with 2 other goaltenders for wins. But the save percentage is way off from his competition, so that's not exactly good, but he's still got room to grow. This is his first season as a starting goalie. It's kind of just backwards thinking that having him as your starting goalie, especially when we only truly have a couple more years of contention, it seems a little backwards, but if there happens to be a goalie on the block come deadline time and we need a goalie to lock it down for the playoffs, I'll look into it. But as of right now, I'm pretty satisfied with how we're doing. Oh, I didn't check the standings. It must be... I don't think it's Tynan that's making us have this good record. I'm certain it's goals against average. Has to be. We're currently 3rd in the league in points, Avalanche look like they're on their way to the President's Trophy, so not thinking about that.
Goals for is solid.
We're 4th place in goals for, and goals against we sit in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12th in goals against average, so around the middle from the highest and the lowest that we've had. So, but then again, things like this taper off after a while. Like after a couple more months of simming, usually things taper out. For reference, we've had 1st place in goals for per game every season. Like the last 4 seasons, we've been 1st place. I'm not saying that that's something we want to win, but it's just an interesting statistic I noticed. We've been 1st place in the last 4 seasons, but never once have we finished 1st in goals against average. We're on a 3-game losing streak as of right now. We break it out with a 6-1 win to the Islanders and a 5-2 win to the Coyotes. At least with the Leafs, we got a point. And then the Jets and the Sharks back-to-back. We got only 1 out of 4 there. 3-2 shootout win to the Coyotes. They're trying to trade us Patrick Maroon. With a win to the Blackhawks, we currently hold a 7-point lead in the division going late into the month here. 7-3 win to the Red Wings and a 4-1 win to the Canadiens. And followed by a 5-3 loss, puts us currently 8 points in the division lead. Vincent Trocheck leading the way with 35 points. He's not a point-per-game player, but he is playing really well.
Is he a power forward?
I think he's 2-way in this game. 2-way forward.
Takes more than power forward.
Yeah, so it's not that like no one's scoring. It's not that no points are being scored, but it's like everyone's on pace for like 60-odd points. 60 to 75 points, which is not bad, but it's just interesting. It's more interesting than bad.
He could be a security guard.
I'm curious as if Tynan's statistics have improved a bit. We haven't exactly lost by ridiculous scores. I'm curious if Tynan has tapered off here. His save percentage and goals against average have gotten better. Not in the 900s, but he's gotten better. Usually his statistics have improved as the season goes, though. He starts in the 800s, and then he ended up in the 900s when it was over, so... It's possible he'll reach the 900s when the season's over. We have a very short January schedule as usual. But the thing that makes no sense to me is they give us the week off for the All-Star break, but they don't make the All-Star game a mode. That's what doesn't make sense to me. But speaking of, NHL 21 is scheduled to release their official gameplay trailer. And I'm going into it with a pretty open mind because NHL 20, in most facets, was a relative success in terms of... I think it was better than last edition's game. They built on franchise mode, which is big. And I also think that, the only thing I'd say is that the Be a Pro is about just as weak as it was before. Like, it hasn't really gotten better. And that sucks to say because I'm a huge Be a Pro fan as well. But it's just hard to play it because it's all the same. It hasn't really changed much since NHL 16. So I would love for there to be a more immersive Be a Pro mode in NHL 21. It just doesn't sit right. I like the Be a Pro or the career mode of Madden a lot better, in my opinion. I just find it hard to get invested into that because it's the same thing each time. It's just the same. You play the games, the coach will occasionally talk to you, and then you just repeat that cycle pretty much. The only thing I'll say is alright is you can ask for trades, which is not... If that's your most groundbreaking thing, it's not a good mode, man. But I'm one of those people that doesn't play Hockey Ultimate Team. I'm not one of those people that plays those modes. So it's hard to say whether those were good or not. So if any of you have played them and have some insight, let me know. But it's just modes that I can't get into. I just never really been into those modes. Alright, so we go into the deadline currently at 39, 18, and 4, tied for first in the division, but we have a 10-point gap on the 3rd seed. So it's going to be the Rangers and the Hurricanes in a dogfight for the division. Vincent Trocheck, once again, still holding the lead in points. Let's take a look at the point gap here. What's it looking like? So Vinny Trocheck, Artemi Panarin, Sebastian Aho, and Andrei Sveshnikov all are on pace to get the 70-odd points by season's end. Josh Hosang, Teuvo Teravainen, and Jake Bean all look pretty solid to hit 60 points. More likely these two, but unless Jake Bean goes on a hot stretch. And Kapanen looks like a solid lock for 50 points. So, pretty solid offensive team. It's been a community, which is nice. We're not relying on just one guy, and if he shuts down, you're toast. So that could be a good recipe for success. Looking at the netminder, way